Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group. I'm Howard Appel, the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News. We are a group of restaurant vendors who are here to help each other grow our businesses and to help restaurateurs, whether it be an owner, manager, or chef, with any issue or problem they may have. We have tremendous amount of expertise in different areas. If we can't solve it, we know where to get the answer. So if you'd like to join us, give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go to our website, trnusa.com, and take a look at our YouTube channel, which is under the name of Today's Restaurant. So we have a new face on the board today, Cliff Fostoff. Good morning, Cliff. Why don't you...
Howard, good morning, everybody.
Give us a
Nice to meet you, Cliff.
So I am a matchmaker, but not the typical type of matchmaker. I help people buy franchises. I'm a franchise consultant, also known as a specialist, broker, coach. So I help people buy franchises. I represent 300 to 400 franchises, all different industries, all different shapes and sizes. So when people find me, they're looking very often for a second or third career, or they're looking for a semi-absentee business, or possibly a business to just invest in and spend almost no time with the business, having somebody else run it. I also help successful businesses franchise their business. And I can tell you that more and more companies are looking to grow their business through franchising. So that's pretty much a very short thumbnail sketch of what I do. I will tell you, especially since Howard has the restaurant business as his core industry and business that he works with. When people hear about franchising, they think of food. And certainly food makes up about a third of all franchises in the United States. But franchising is so much more than McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, and so forth. Since there's about 4,000 franchises, you have to figure that there's about 2,500 franchises that are not food. You do business with a lot of these businesses. You probably don't know it's a franchise, nor do you care. So I'll leave you with this thought, and then I don't want to take up all of your time, but there is no automatic correlation between what it costs to buy a franchise and how much money you can make. In other words, you don't need to spend a lot of money for a brick and mortar business. You can get into business, a franchise business out of your home or out of an executive office suite or an industrial park. And if you want to talk more about it later, be more than happy to talk more. I've been doing this, been in the franchising world for the last 20 years, as a consultant for the last 18 years. I did own an executive office suite franchise once upon a time. Thanks.
And how can we reach you?
You can reach me at Cliff at the Franchise Consulting Company, or you can call me at 561-302-6652. Or if you can't remember any of that and you want to learn a little bit more, talk to Howard, he'll find me.
Just for your information, Cliff, at the end of the meeting, I will send out a spreadsheet with everybody that was here today, all their contact information to everybody in the group. So you'll have all that at the end.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So thank you and welcome aboard. We have a couple of members in the group who were involved in the franchise restaurant business. So I'm sure there'll be some synergy. So let's do our regular intros, and hopefully some of the members will straggle in. We're a little light today, but the quality is here. So Darren, why don't you start us off?
Okay, good morning, everybody. Darren Gull with Tracy.net. That's TRACI.net. It's an acronym for Transmit, Receive, and Communicate Information. And that's what we do. We do communications consulting, primarily in the voice spectrum is where we try to stay. But what we do is we put people's phone systems in the cloud to give them redundancy and lower costs to operate their businesses, allowing them to work from anywhere and everywhere. We're also rolling out some new, what we call analog replacement lines. So for those must-have analog lines, for elevator lines, for fire alarm lines, for people who still want to use an analog fax machine, we have a solution now that is completely redundant, ships out of the box with dual WAN capability. So if people have two internet connections, it can be redundant between both those connections, as well as an LTE backup to ensure it never goes down. We use both an AC and a DC battery backup in it, 24-hour runtime, so you can get up to 8 analog lines fully backed up for 24 hours for those emergency lines. And of course, we do the phone systems that run over that as well. We also tunnel that traffic, and we have a very proprietary technology that we've come up with. And what it does is it does not drop the call. So if your internet goes down, it will drop the calls. The phones have to re-register on your other internet connection. What we're doing is we're tunneling that traffic over our own IP into our network, so your phones never drop. I mean, you might lose like a half of a syllable of a word as it cuts over, but other than that, it stays up. So the tunnel's pretty solid. So if your phones can't ever go down, we do have technology now for that. We do work in the restaurant industry as well as other industries, particularly small businesses. We have solutions starting as low as $85 a month, including the hardware. So Darren Gall, Tracy.net. You can reach us at sales@tracy.net, or our number is 800-881-8899.
Hey, thank you. John Bunn, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, Cliff. My name is John Bunn with the BH Bunn Company. I'm third generation owner operator. We manufacture the world's first tying machine. You name it, we've tied it. We've been in the bakery industry since the 30s, the printing industry, the mail, Federal Reserve banks, laundries, anything you can think of, we tie it. We use environment-friendly materials. As I like to say, Bunn was green when green was just a color. You can reach me at 800-222-BUNN. Our email is info@bunntyco.com, and our website is bunntyco.com. Bunn Tyco stands for Bunn Tying Company, nothing to do with Tyco. Thank you.
Thank you. Gabby, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Gabby with Worksite PEO. We are a professional employer organization. What we do is we set up a plug and play, automize your back office so that you're able to focus on strategic growth for your business. What that actually means is that we'll take care of your payroll benefits, workers' comp, 401k, and even HR consultation, everything that would have to do with the back office so that you don't have to worry about that. And you can focus on getting back to your clients and your menu. Gabby with Worksite PEO, 561-479-7474.
Thank you. John Marinak, you still there? He said he had a drop off.
He looks like he's muted.
No, he said he just sent me a text with a
Okay.
drop off. Anyway, Randy, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Randy Pumputis here with Heartland Payroll and HR. Had a great lunch meeting yesterday with Gabby and her director, Glenn, talking about how we can insulate small to mid-sized businesses, both traditional payroll and PEO. So that was an exciting meeting. Next week, we are going to be traveling to Orlando for the FAIA. If you're in Orlando, it is the largest insurance broker conference in the United States. They're really the flagship of the Big I. Very excited to be part of that. So Heartland Payroll, we do everything from startups to acquisitions and multi-ID locations. Cliff, welcome aboard. I'm actually the strategic partner for the UFG, United Franchise Group. So franchising is bigger and bigger, growing. Great part to be part of that. And I can be reached at 585-622-2993. Thank you.
Okay. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope everyone had a good week. It was a holiday, a lot of people gone, still gone. A couple of calls and emails. See you next week. Okay. I actually handle the office and the lead reports that people get every month. By the 9th, 10th at the latest, we sent out the leads this morning for June for Florida. If you also get Georgia, those will go out probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday, a couple of days later. These are leads. There were 70. Our goal is 70 new leads every month. We hit that goal again for the 4th month in a row. And if we're at 60, 62, I tell them, find more. I need 8 more. I need 7 more. I want 70 new leads a month. These are owners' names, email addresses, phone numbers, addresses, names of establishments, what they are, if they have alcohol, if they have outdoor seating, where they are in their either permitting stages, if they've just signed a lease, anything that we can find out about them, we try and fit in that one little line. So you have to kind of really expand that so that you can get all the information. I think this, yeah, we did. And you get one of those every month for a year. Our members get special pricing. It's $4.99 on the web. Anybody that's in the group still gets it for the old price of $4.29. That is for a year, not a month. You get one report every month for a year. Anybody that needs a sample, has any questions, if there's a lead on one of them, I had someone call and say, I really need to get a hold of this guy, but I can't. The number is his number, but he doesn't answer the phone. Is there any other way to get a hold of him? So I called the number, left a message. He did call back, and the guy got a hold of him. So we try really hard. If there's somebody you really need to get a hold of and you can't, just let us know. If you want a sample, let me know. I'm happy to send it to you. Terry at trnusa.com. Thank you.
You're a modern matchmaker.
Excuse me? Yes, I guess I am. I think we all are in our own fields. I think we all are. And I think John, with being, from the original bun company, is you don't see that many from way back when. Still
looks good
being
for
a part of the
109.
family. They take off and go in another direction. Cliff, welcome. I don't get a chance to do this often, but there aren't that many people here. Darren's our expert on everything.
Now she's gonna go through everyone.
Chris, we love you because it doesn't matter what we talk about. Chris is a lot like me. We go for the underdog. You know what? Somebody says, give this guy a chance. He's getting a chance. You know what? He wants to work. He's trying. Nobody will hire him. He doesn't have the experience. How's he going to get the experience? Hire him. Give him the chance. So, Randy, nice to see you. You don't always show up. Sometimes we just get your name. Anyway, welcome, everyone.
All right, you forgot Gabby. Gabby,
Wait, where's Gabby? I don't.
You're gonna
see that.
be. You're gonna be
Uh,
here today.
I'm
Well,
chopped
Gabby,
liver, I
you're
guess.
the sunshine here.
Wait.
You're always smiling
Well-
and laughing.
I'm
on
chopped
now.
liver today.
We're,
No, I had to move my photo.
Well-
You were under it. I'm so
we're doing a
sorry.
survey today. What color are Gabby's headphones?
White, and you stay out of this. Gabby. Welcome.
Never mind. Chris, good morning. Can you handle this without your two compadres?
Could be tough, but I'll give it a shot. By the way, Gabby's headphones appear to be
White and
the little ear
White and
covers
blue.
look like a baby bluish gray color. And
Aha!
the headband itself
You're with me.
is kind of pink, but they're not white. They are
And
not
she
white.
looks way different without them. Yeah, they're kind of.
Chris saw it correctly, Howard. The gray was over the ear covers. He said they're pink. So
I see them
Yeah,
as
so there.
well.
Anyway, so
Okay, pink
enough of
and
that.
blue. That's it, pink and
Our
blue.
company is Strategic Supply Chain Partners. We function as an outsourced purchasing department for our clients. And actually, I'm going to steal a little bit of Gabby's pitch. We save time to put procurement programs in place so that they don't have to spend all the time shopping for lettuce and tomatoes and canned goods and shrimp and everything else. They can concentrate on their customers. We put the programs together, we negotiate better deals and are typically able to get for themselves, typically save our clients between 18 and 50% on their purchasing prices, even though nobody believes that number until we deliver it to them. We manage compliance with programs on both the supplier side and client side once we put them in place. And our sweet spot is small to mid-market restaurant companies that are growing and have a concept as opposed to individual one-off restaurants run by a chef, for example. So growing, we have a really good referral program for anybody that's interested. And, we put money back in our clients' pockets, which is a good thing. We add to the value of their company. So that's Strategic Supply Chain Partners. And on the heels of last week, I'm going to give my consulting business a quick plug. Anybody needing help with organizational culture and how to create engagement, how to treat employees better in the business. If you saw the video last week, I hopped on my soapbox for too long, probably, but happy to help anybody with that too, because there's a lot of companies that need that.
Okay, thank you. And welcome back, Dwayne.
Oh,
good
Dwayne
morning.
here. Hi, Dwayne. I missed you.
I know, but that's okay.
I'm on a cell phone, so I don't see everyone. Hi.
So am I. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's morning, so I just got off work at like 7. So,
Oh, yuck.
but I was determined to be on the call this morning.
So tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Dwayne Wilson. I see some familiar face, Miss Gabby. I've started a new business platform called Environmental Peace of Mind Sanitizing, which is a disinfecting and sanitizing spray business. I am not a cleaning service. This is an add-on piece that would be in effect after you have your normal cleaning protocol. We would come in and provide a disinfecting and spray service using an environmentally friendly hospital grade disinfectant, and we apply it via an electrostatic spray system. So you get total coverage, and it's approved by the NSF for all food contact surfaces, no rinse, no wipe. So great for restaurants, front of the house, back of the house. And again, I use it every day. It's multiple uses and no harmful VOCs. And, it's safe to the skin. And after spraying, once the spray settles, you can go back in the environment. So if anyone, whether it's restaurants, residents, office space, do fleet service work, there's a myriad of applicable areas that the spray service would be viable for.
And how do we reach you?
You can reach me via my email. That is office@EPOMS by DW.com, and contact number 786-738-2126.
Okay, thank you.
Fun fact, Dwayne and I met at a different networking event a while back. It was like last year, sometime in the beginning of last year, and we lost track of each other. It's funny that we found like we bump into each other here today.
Imagine that. That was in my merchant services life,
Yep.
which I'm happy to say is gone.
Well, we're gonna have to reconnect then one of these days.
That would be outstanding.
Dwayne and I met about more than 5 years ago, right?
It's longer than 5 years, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be closer to 10. We also met on what do you call some sort of a group, but we were on a cruise ship for lunch.
Yeah, they up at Riviera Beach. What was that ship? The boutique cruise ship. I forget the name of it. Oh, goodness.
We've
But
been
anyway,
Virgin?
since then.
no. But anyway, since then Howard's adopted me, so I'm part of the family and whatnot. Now I just got a whole bunch of melatonin.
All right, Cliff, you want to add anything that you might have missed?
There's so much.
You don't have to. You don't have to go into detail. Right this moment.
Well, does anyone, based upon what I shared, what is interesting is what I've learned. People always ask me, so what's the best franchise? It may be something that all of you just thought about. There is no good answer to that question. So when people ask me that question, I put my hands up in the air and I say, I don't know, because it depends. I take the time to learn about people's goals, their skills, their interests, and their investment criteria. And then I spend the time asking a lot of questions and listening to see if I could help somebody find a few different franchises that they want to consider investigating. Nobody buys a franchise overnight. What I have found through the years, it's generally could be 60 to 90 days, could be a lot longer. There's a lot of due diligence that one can do. And the beauty of franchising is if you do your homework, you shouldn't really have any surprises if you make a decision to buy a franchise, because there's just so much information out there that you can research to help yourself find the right franchise, or find that the franchise that you thought you liked, the more you learn, there's too many negatives or pitfalls. Because with franchising, it's a regulated industry. The Federal Trade Commission oversees this industry, and it forces the franchise companies to every year, they need to go through and provide what's known as a franchise disclosure documents, providing updated information about the particular franchise. And anybody that's looking at a franchise can call as many franchisees in the system and ask them whatever you would like to find out a little bit more about it. So one last thing, and then I'll leave it for the moment. If you buy a franchise, statistics say that 70 to 80% of the people that buy it within 5 years will still be in business. Whereas if you start your own business, there's a 70 to 80% chance that after 5 years, you will be out of business. It's a lot harder to start something on your own. With a franchise, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just follow the system. So there's a few things there.
All right, welcome aboard. You just brought something up that Dwayne, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat for a second. Many times I say it in the group that the members of the group have a tremendous amount of information, and you're talking to the people behind the people that you see on the screen, because we know so many people, and we can help each other and help a restaurateur with any problems they may have. I think Dwayne, you might have been at the in-person meetings prior to COVID, where we asked for a volunteer to quote unquote sit on the hot seat and bring up a problem that they might have and let the group help them solve it. And I think Evan, my son, was the volunteer at the time, and the whole group chimed in and tried to help him with the problem that he had. So you know, you're in a brand new business, and we have a lot of people here who are seasoned business people. So do you have a situation that you're having difficulty with, or you have need help with at the moment that I haven't tried to help you with?
Well, you've always tried to help me, so that goes without saying. But I guess really the most difficult challenge for me is time. You know, I've got multiple platforms that I'm handling at this point, and certainly I was actually looking at possibly utilizing a virtual assistant or something. It's like the old adage, who's on first base? Bugs Bunny. Who's on second? Bugs Bunny. Who's pitching? Bugs. Well, guess who Bugs Bunny is? So, you know, when you're starting up the business and it's just you, everything from the marketing to I do the spraying to finding the leads to making the calls to just everything. And I'm still working you know, a part-time job just until I get this thing developed to the point where I can possibly secure some recurring business. That would be great. But, you know, really for me, it's time management and being able to, there's not enough hours in the day, it seems. So that's my biggest goal. And I have a newfound respect for content writers because I'm still editing my website. Just a number of things that could obviously be a little smoother, but, you know, as challenging as it may be, there's a really bright light at the end of the tunnel. It's just getting through the tunnel, getting to the light.
As far as really contact writing goes, have you heard of Chat GPT?
Yeah, I just had my little quick lesson last week from a very close friend of mine. You know Velton Showell, my good friend, right? He's a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Velton came by and showed me, got me started on the Chat GPT thing, and I think it's going to be helpful. You know, more questions or more information you provided, it gets smarter. And so I'm in the process now. I'm utilizing it and see if that can certainly help me. It looks like it can. So we're gonna give that a shot.
You know, for everybody, if you read my column in the newspaper this month, the Appel Pie column, that column is actually the result of a Chat GPT question that I asked, along with what I added to it, and it's actually the longest column I've ever published in the paper so far. It really helps. It speeds up the process.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So I'm going to get a little more intimately involved with the Chat GPT.
You could also ask it to, like, at the end of writing you the column or whatever you want, to actually create hashtags or SEO venues for you so that it's searchable and is findable as well. If you get on either TikTok or YouTube, there's a lot of videos on Chat GPT on how to use it best, especially for content creation.
Okay, check that out. Thank you, Miss Gavin.
Anybody else have perhaps any other suggestions or tips that Dwayne may be able to use in his stage of development?
I know, Dwayne, you mentioned having, you know, a virtual assistant type thing. We're in the telephony realm with, you know, cloud solutions. So we definitely do a lot of that for people we call our side hustle product, which basically allows you to have a different phone number for each business. And when a call comes in, even though it comes in through the same app, we pre-pen the caller ID so you know what they're calling about, so you know how to answer it. We can also have automated menus in front of each number that can give you some story and the option to leave a voicemail. So those are some things that we work a lot with startup business into full business. And I think the best advice I could give you is don't use your cell phone when you start a business, because then everything comes in on your cell phone and you can't ever push it off to somebody else. So as you grow, it's really cheap to have multiple DIDs these days and to have a system that runs behind it. So if you have an interest, Howard will send out information. I'd be happy to talk with you about some options.
Absolutely, because that's exactly the number I'm using, or that's the
Yep. Once you do that, you can never get away from it. So what a lot of our customers do is they port that into the cloud and get a new cell phone number they only give out to their friends and family. And then that way they have control of being able to forward it when they're out of town, or, if they bring in more employees, they can route stuff, differently and have different menus and et cetera. So once you're in our environment, we can pretty much manipulate it any way you need it. And it's easy to change it on the fly.
All right, most definitely. I'm very interested in hearing that, because that's exactly the case.
Yep.
I work an 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. part-time shift. So,
Wow.
when I'm trying to sneak sleep, and I'm fighting like all get out right now to stay up. But
I was gonna say, you
my
probably
sister asked
don't.
me, why don't you
sleep
turn it
anymore.
on silent? Well, I can't turn it on silent because somebody might be calling me, regarding business. So that speaks directly to the point you made.
Yeah.
I would also suggest, Dwayne, well, first of all, schedule your sleep, your naps, whatever. It can sneak up on you very, very quickly. You don't want to get sick. And number two, either utilize interns or like 1099s. You can get on Fiverr, or even reach out to college to different colleges for intern credits.
Yeah, I was thinking
You can
about.
get either free or commission-based internship, where you can give them a list and they can start calling businesses in your behalf and making appointments, and then you pay them commission on whatever they set up, that it's a closed business, in which you don't have to worry about, a paid salary or an hour salary, that it's an overhead immediately. But in the contrary, is something that you come up out of pocket once the contract is paid. So, that might be able to help you facilitate and alleviate some of that. And you could also find, if you can't find it in colleges, you can find them in Fiverr as well. So
That's outstanding. I was actually thinking of reaching out to Palm Beach State College or FAU, or something up here. I live in West Palm Beach. I office from my home, but obviously that could be done remotely for them answering the phone, especially if the previous gentleman would, if I'm able to go ahead and get that business number per se, because I got my car magnets, and yes, they have my cell phone on it. That would be good, because that way I can actually get to turn off the phone or put it on silent, and not fret that I'm losing a potential return call, or somebody saw information or was given my card or whatever, and that's why my phone never goes off.
I want to ask Chris something. Chris has a lot of experience in managing restaurant operations. And although I think it was a different era, I think that's prior to COVID, right, Chris?
Yeah, I haven't been in any sort of a corporate environment since pre-COVID. Yeah.
So what if you were approached by somebody like Dwayne's company to be used, trying to sell you on his services to be used in your restaurant? What do you think you would come up with as either an objection or an emotion?
If I'm the potential franchisee, or am I the franchisor?
You're the franchisee.
Okay. Well, I probably have too much experience in the business because I've been a guy that had to set up the franchise program in a couple of cases or work with people to do that. And the whole starting point for me is it's supposed to be, yeah, Howard, you did it again. I can take up the next 20 minutes talking about this easily. First of all, the premise is a franchise is supposed to be a turnkey, tried and true, proven operation. Secondly, franchisors should be selling their franchises to people that understand what they're doing, which is basically you're paying me a royalty to use the concept and services that I created, and you don't screw around with my brand, okay? But way too often, people who want to be franchisees are frustrated entrepreneurs that weren't good enough to create their own brand and their own recipes. And then once they're a franchisee, they try to mess with the brand they're franchising. So that's all the backdrop to say, if I'm looking for a franchise, the first thing I want is proof that you actually have a turnkey operation. I want to see your operations manual. I want to see your recipes. I want to see your training programs. I want to see how you vet other franchisees because I want to know who potentially I'm going to be involved with, because the weakest link in the franchise group potentially is the one that can destroy the whole brand. So, I as a franchisee, I would, somebody shopping for a franchise, I would thoroughly vet the franchisor and make sure they're doing everything they're capable of to protect the brand I'm about to make an investment in.
So you wouldn't use a company like Dwayne's unless he was
If Dwayne and Dwayne, I would have to know more, I guess, but
well, let's assume you were a restaurateur, not a franchise. And
if I'm just a single restaurant, I still want to know what the service is.
you're back to where you were last week. How does he get experience without if you don't give him the shot?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd want to know for Dwayne's business, I might have misunderstood the question you were asking me. For Dwayne's business, understanding what he's going to do to sanitize my restaurant, I'm going to want to know, who else he's serviced, what kind of satisfaction they have, what kind of job they did, did they deliver on expectations? I just think that's kind of normal when you're looking to set up a supplier. You want to vet the service.
Well, that's pretty much the case, but it still is in the same situation. Got to get the experience somewhere. Somebody's got to say yes at some point.
Yeah. So you know what, Dwayne?
Far,
we were a startup business not that long ago. We actually spent 3 years without a client, working on finding our first client and selling people on a very complicated, what seems to be a very complicated sale. But at the end of the day, to get business, sometimes it may be simply like, what we do. We're basically, it's a free trial. It doesn't cost you anything unless we deliver. That's how we got our experience and started to get people who were willing to refer us once they saw we provide a great service.
okay.
If he offers you like, some kind of a special to get started, do you think that would be helpful?
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one half price, something like, something.
Anything that allows me to kind of test it out and see if it's actually going to do what it says to do is always a plus.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. You got to have the proof that it works. Anybody can say, I have this and it works, but you do have to have some kind of proof. Show them, have somebody call them that uses it. Even when you're first starting out, you have to have proof that it works. I mean, you can say all you want, but if it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, and then you could be in some kind of, other, you could have other issues, Dwayne. We know it works, but we're not a restaurant. So you got to somehow prove that it works.
Maybe a money get back guarantee. You know, if it doesn't work,
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
give you your
There
money
you go.
back.
Yeah.
And I would even document it, like, take a video before, obviously with the owner's consent. Take a video before, take a video after, or pictures, so that you could also create content that way. That would be free marketing for you.
Yeah.
And you have proof that it works.
Testimonials on your website would help. I still think at the end of the day, you know, the old school word of mouth is the best marketing. Word of mouth is, you know, morphed into social media, but at the end of the day, it's a digital form of word of mouth. So the more that you can generate that, where people are saying, yeah, this is a great service, will help.
Yeah, the other thing, Dwayne, you might want to reach out to the people who are flagged in those dirty dining reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
at their lowest at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then maybe even partner or not partner, but try and connect with some of the inspectors. You know, you can get their names off of the reports and have them come in after you've come in and show how you turned it around. And then you've got your success stories that you need.
That's a
Darren, that's
great
brilliant.
idea.
That's
That's a
brilliant
great idea.
because you literally would have people saying your service saved their restaurant from going out of business.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. I like it. I like it.
Testimonies from the
Great
current
idea.
customers and
Dwayne, are
documentation.
you familiar with the Small Business Developmental Center, also known as the SBDC?
I have heard the name. I'm not going to say I'm so familiar with it.
Okay, I
That
would go to
I-
their website. It's the
Small-
Small Business Developmental Center at FAU. Are you in Palm Beach or Broward County?
I'm in Palm Beach. I'm right here in West Palm Beach.
Okay, great. Go to the Small
Small
Business
Business
Developmental Center. They are part of the SBA, the Small Business Administration. This is a free service. You could sign up and have a coach or a counselor contact you. They work with all different types of new businesses. They can potentially help you develop a virtual marketing plan, or you could have a business coach that will not cost you a nickel. Our taxes pay for this service. I like to call it one of the best kept secrets out there, because this is a service that is a free business service. Most people don't know that it exists. And I spent 18 months working as a counselor for the Small Business Developmental Center. And they could give you some assistance and some direction. And everybody,
I'm definitely
believer
going
in
to be all
everybody-
over that one.
everybody in business needs a coach. You can't beat the price.
Cliff, is
Yeah,
that part of the
even I
research
can
park?
afford that.
It is part of the research park. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Great idea.
Outstanding. Thank you all.
That's what, you know, that was the whole intent of part of the objectives of this group, is to be a helping hand to us, to each other, and anybody listening, you know, who may be going through growing pains or whatever, to pick up on some of the conversation that we had that may help them.
Outstanding.
That's the whole purpose of what we do here.
Well, like I said, this is very helpful information, and I'm definitely going to follow up on that. And definitely, when you send out the contact info, Howard, I'm going to reach out and create a platform for dialogue. And if I can be of help to anyone in your areas, I'm more than happy to do so. Because I started this business, my parent company is DW and Associates Group, which is a networking consulting platform. So essentially, I find out what people do and I connect the dots with people who can utilize or need their service and or product. So that's how we met networking, but essentially that's what I do. But I created this company under my networking parent company.
Dwayne, there's also a business
another
expo
matchmaker.
coming up. Yeah, there's another business expo coming out. You should look at it's called Biz to Biz Networking, and at Gulfstream Park. I think it's next Wednesday. Pull up my calendar and I'll tell you. Yeah, it's next Wednesday, the 14th, from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock at Gulfstream Park on the 3rd floor above the casino. There's a convention thing that overlooks the racetrack down there. It's free to attend, and I can actually, once I get you, I'll send you an email with a link to get free tickets to go. We'll be exhibiting there, so you'll actually be able to see some of the technologies we do. And it is an expo designed for small businesses, and it might be something down the road to consider a table at an expo like that where you can show what you do. But I would start by walking around and just networking with the people that are exhibiting. You know, a lot of people do that. They come in. I get more people, I think, that come in trying to sell me at our booth than are looking for the services we offer, which is kind of common at trade shows. But it's still those networking events that gives us a chance to talk with people. So it definitely would be worth it. And you could home base out of our booth if you needed to. And if you have some literature you want to hand out, something like that, I'd be happy to help you out with that.
All right, outstanding. I will definitely look at that. And certainly, again, I do want to have some dialogue with you offline.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
See where we can make some things happen.
We've all been there, as Howard said. We all were small businesses at one time and all started out and all had to figure it out. And Chris he's a great resource as well. And it's like when Terry was trying to describe Chris, he's kind of like Cajun spice. It makes everything a little better.
Well, I do like my spice, so
I wouldn't have thought of those words, but absolutely right.
Y'all are killing me, but thank you.
Well, I tell you what, this was certainly worthwhile staying up for.
Get some rest.
Well, this is the second Zoom platform that I've been on this morning, so it didn't make sense for me to try and go to sleep prior.
Understood.
But I certainly appreciate everyone's input and willingness to help, and it goes both ways. So I'll be more than happy to if you find something, or once I understand, a little more what it is you're doing and the target market you're going after, then I can kind of check the coffers and see. All right, well, I know this person that might be able to utilize your service, or whatever the case may be. So
that's why we're all here.
there you go.
Thing.
There you go. All right.
Dwayne's got a lot of connections. Dwayne's got a lot of connections. He's happy to share. Dwayne and I used to lecture together at FIU.
I mean, it's amazing how people are so interested in talking to old, broken down, retired football players or what have you, and works for me at times. But long as they want to chat, then I'm certainly willing to do that.
I thought you were talking about me.
Well, I didn't know you played football in the first place. That would be news to me.
Oh, man.
It's been so long ago for me, I almost forgot I played. So,
well, I thank everybody for jumping in. And it's exactly what I envisioned us being able to do to help somebody within the group. And of course, to help somebody watching us who may be in the same position. I think that's a great service that we provide. And it may develop in somebody, just might give you a call and try to help them offline. So, I thank you all for that. And I wish you all unless there's anything else anybody wants to add or include, I thank you all for coming. Hopefully next week we'll have the full complement of everybody here, which never happens. But thank you all for coming, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week.